Welcome back to the Dad Decisions podcast. This is going to be an interesting episode. If you're watching this, if you're not watching this, if you're just listening to this, I got a little creative. We're going to get into that after the introduction, but I'm not going to read any notes. We're not going to look at any notes. I'm not cheating off any research that I've done or anything like that. This is going to be one of those episodes where I'm just going to talk to you about something that I feel. And so you have found the Dad Decisions podcast. I'm your host, Mike Potter. Today, I'm going to let you know that I'm proud of you. Let's make some dad decisions together. Now, if you're watching this, there's going to be, I don't know, let me go back. So my wife is out of town this weekend, and I usually do my episodes on the weekend, and then I, touch them up, do whatever I need to do, and make sure they're scheduled to get out by Tuesday, because that's when I'm releasing my episodes, is on Tuesdays. And so I'm sitting out there on the couch, and preseason football's on. Don't get me wrong. If you just really want to watch the second, third, fourth, and fifth string players do whatever they do, I don't know. It's bad. I was watching a little bit of it, and it's just like, oh, another interception. Oh, another fumble. Oh, another thing. Oh, and I'm like, okay. And I've had this inkling to do more video. Even if I don't release like the entire video, I think it would be cool to be able to take, 15 seconds of a little topic, spice them up and release them on social media. And so I thought, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And I wish there was a way for me to turn this all around so you could see what I'm looking at here. But I have my iPhone on an ironing board propped up with a little 2-pound dumbbell. One of these days, I'll get a tripod if this goes well. I found one of my son's old bed sheets that's blue, and I just hung it behind me so I could use, and I've been messing around with this app so I could like pick a color and completely take it out. And I think I can just take this color out. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to replace this color with like a background. We're going to see what happens. Maybe it's trash. Maybe you're going to listen to this audio version of this episode and you're going to go, Mike, I don't know what you're talking about. You never put out any any video from this because it might be crap. I might get on the other side of this iPhone in a second and realize that I'm shooting the whole thing like from here up. I don't know. I tested it. I thought it looked cool. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. First effort into actually talking at you, iPhone. How I start all my episodes is pretty much the same. We do a little housekeeping. You guys know that. Today, the housekeeping, of course, is my phone number, 318-373-4488. I have it written down over there, so I don't have to memorize it, but 318-373-4488. Call me, text me. Hit me up on all the social media stuff. I got them all. I think I do. We've talked about this before. But love hearing from you on social media. Love the pictures of people listening to the Dad Decisions podcast in their cars and whatever's going on. Last episode was okay. We did a little back to school talk. I got some really good feedback from people as they were listening to that episode. And it's really interesting. I think I've mentioned it to you guys before. I have 2 episodes that are performing like super well. And I think it's because it's the way I named them. Jiggle Jiggle and Giga Chad. I doubt anybody's listening to it. I'm sure I can go and get like actual data on, yes, they've been downloaded the most, but did anybody actually listen all the way through? They probably thought, oh, this guy's going to, sing that Jiggle Jiggle song. And I do. If you haven't heard it, go listen. I sing the Jiggle Jiggle song from social media for like, 10 seconds or something. But I need to do a better job, I think, of naming these episodes and like trapping people. Like I gotcha. You've seen that Dave Chappelle skit where like he gets Oprah pregnant and she calls him to tell him, he's like, gotcha, bitch. That's what this is. I'm trying to get people. I'm trying to trick you into listening to these episodes. So when you do, I can't stop crossing my legs. It's really weird. I don't know if y'all can see my legs in this. There's going to be a lot of editing going on, clearly. Anyway, I have a note on my phone where I keep all of the possible episodes that I'm going to do or I hope to do. I don't know. And this one, I wrote this one down like months ago when I started thinking about episode ideas because it's super personal to me. I hope it's personal to you. I think it's something that everybody needs to hear. And if you've never heard it, I think you need to understand that you should. And that is, I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And if nobody's told you that, this is going to be the episode where I tell you that I'm proud of you. I may not know you, and we're going to talk a little more about why, even not knowing you, I'm proud of you. And you should be proud of yourself. And I'll give you a little history here. So my dad passed a number of years ago, but the one thing that I have as a memory of him, I'll always have a memory of him. He consistently told me he was proud of me, whether I failed at something or succeeded at something, or, I wasn't a very athletic kid. So even if I tried, he made sure to always tell me he was proud of me. He made sure to always make me understand that I should be proud of myself. And I know that if my dad were alive today, I feel confident that he would be proud of me today as well. I've got a job and a wife and kids and a house and my health and things. And I know that he would be proud of me. And I find a lot of comfort with that, knowing that he would be proud of me. And that was just how I was raised, right? I was always told to be proud of myself and that he was proud of me. And it made me feel good when somebody that you look up to, like your parents or whatever, says, hey, I'm proud of you. And I don't know, again, maybe you're like, yeah, dude, Mike, of course I'm proud of myself. I'm amazing. And maybe this episode's not for you. Okay. But I want those of you out there who need to hear it and to hear it from me. I'm proud of you. You can tell I'm kind of, if you're watching the video version of this, I'm kind of drifting around thinking because it's not quite that easy. I don't want to just tell you I'm proud of you and you go, all right, well, you don't even know me, so how could you possibly be proud of me? And there are a number of reasons that I know that I should be proud of you. And that those are the same reasons that you should be able to look at and be proud of yourself. Okay. I'm guessing if you're at this podcast that you're a dad or you have kids or something. And that alone, that you're showing up and that you're a dad and you're doing your dad thing is something you should be proud of. There are plenty of men out there that I would say don't fulfill their obligation of being a dad, but I know you do. And maybe you're not the best dad in the world. We all fail at things. Maybe I don't know, maybe you aren't always there. Maybe you have gotten angry when you shouldn't have gotten angry, or maybe you haven't been the best example all the time, every time. But you're still there, right? You haven't run away. You haven't abandoned your obligation to be a dad. You're still in the life of your child. And you're trying your best and you're making improvements. And if you can look back and go, I know that I made a mistake at this one point and I'm going to be a better man now. You got to be proud of yourself, man. And people are proud of you, I promise. And I'm proud of you. That's not easy. Being a dad isn't easy. And admitting your shortcomings, right? The things that you have potentially failed at, that you can look back and go, all right, I could have done a better job at this thing. I'm going to try harder next time. And I'm going to make sure I'm a good example to my children. Be proud of yourself. That alone, you're here listening to this podcast. I'm going to make the assumption that you're a dad, and dads fail constantly. And I hope when I said that, you thought a little bit and went, yep. I definitely got mad the other day when I told them to brush their teeth and they didn't. And I kind of lost my shit a little bit. And again, if you're able to do that, so I'm proud of you for being a dad, but then I'm also proud of you if you're able to close your eyes for a second and go, I failed at this thing. I was short with my wife. I was, angry with my kids. I had a real bad day at work and I came home and I let that brew over into my house. I'm not proud of you for those things, but I am proud of you for reflecting and going, I did those things and I can do better. So right there alone, Mike, you don't know me. How could you possibly be proud of me? There you go. There it is. And okay, so that's that. So those are a few reasons. Let's think of some more. You've made it this far. I don't care if you're 15, 24, 50, 75. You've made it this far. And at every phase in your life, how far you've made it hasn't been easy. Whether you're young and you're just dealing with school and friends and the politics of life and growing up and understanding your first job and your first real relationships and whatever that looks like, that's hard. And you should be proud of yourself for where you are. You've made it past those stages and now you're getting into marriage and having a family. All of that's hard and you've made it that far. And maybe you're in the next stage where your children are now grown up and you're a grandparent now and you're starting to look forward to retirement and how you've done as far as like saving and are you prepared? How's your health? That's not easy to get there either. And so whether you're 18, 28, 58, 78, you've made it this far and you should be proud of that. It was really hard to get this far. And me, I'm 42 years old. I look back at when my kids are running around, they're like, oh, I had such a hard day. Like, you don't even understand what a hard day is, right? But to them, it's the hardest day they've ever experienced. Today, if today was a bad day, it was quite literally the worst day they've ever had. And it's really easy for you to look back and go, it's not that bad. I mean, what's the big deal? You had to sit by yourself at lunch. So what? I would love to sit by myself at lunch because I can be alone with my thoughts and just eat whatever crap I'm eating. But that's you. For your children or for a young man that's trying to develop himself in school or kids or whatever that looks like, that's huge, right? So again, wherever you are, you've made it this far, and I'm proud of you for that. So again, I can find reasons all day long to tell you that I'm proud of you. And I think it's important that you hear it and you don't just brush it off your shoulder. You don't just go, who's this guy? How could he possibly be proud of me? I want you to really think about it. Like, where you're sitting right now, you probably have a number of reasons to be proud of yourself. You probably have a number of reasons to be proud of the people in your life. And that kind of segues me into this next part. I hope you tell people that you're proud of them. I hope you tell your spouse that you're proud of her or him or whoever's listening to this. They have hard days too. And just like it meant a lot to me to hear from my dad that he was proud of me, it means a lot to other people to hear from you that you're proud of them. Take the 2 seconds to go, I know what happened to you today sitting at lunch by yourself. It was really, really hard. I know it was. And I'm proud of you for talking to me about it. I'm proud of you for getting through lunch, coming home today, and talking to me about it. I'm proud of you. It wasn't easy. I'm proud of you for realizing that it wasn't easy. I'm proud of you for understanding that what you're going through is complicated, but then there's lunch tomorrow, and there's lunch in 3 weeks, and there's lunch in 5 years. And what you're learning today is going to prepare you to be successful tomorrow. And I'm proud of you for that. You may not realize it. Your kids don't realize that when they're sitting alone at lunch, that they actually learned something. They learned what that felt like. They learned to not leave another kid at the table alone for lunch. They learned that relationships are important and developing friendships are important and being alone with your thoughts feels a certain way. Your kids learn those things, but until you sit down and go, I am proud of you for what you experienced today, I don't think they would understand. And it's not just telling your kids that you're proud of them. It's telling your wife that you're proud of them, your husband that you're proud of them. Speaking personally, if you guys know my wife, and you probably don't, but maybe some of you do, Um, we have both. I mean, we've been together since we were 19, and we've both grown so much, both emotionally and personally. And if you can see my stomach in this, a little physically, grow a little physically. And we notice those things about each other as we work through things. And I know it almost sounds a little belittling, but I know how difficult it is sometimes for us to admit that we're wrong, or for us to admit that something that happened shouldn't have happened, or that something I said I shouldn't have said, or did and shouldn't have did. It's very hard to do. But again, I think it's important that you tell that person how much it means to you that they did that, and that you're proud of them for that growth. And hopefully they're not real shallow and be like, fuck, tell me you're proud of me. Tell them. Because it means a lot to you, right? Like whatever happened meant a lot to you. So be like, hey, look, I know that was hard for you. I know coming and telling me that the way you felt about this certain thing wasn't easy. And I've known you for 20 years. And I am so immensely proud that we are where we are in our marriage, in our friendship, in our lives, that we're growing together every day. And I am proud of you for continuing to work on us. And you know what I mean? Like, the word pride is a little tricky. You can be proud of someone, something, proud of yourself, but then there's this weird thing of pride. I can't remember who sings it, but there's a hip hop song you kids listen to now in the clubs. It's hip hop. I want to say it's J. Cole. It's Pride is the Devil. And so where I think this is an interesting segue in the conversation, you can be proud of yourself. You can be proud of your kids. You can be proud of your spouse. You can be proud of the people around you, the way your life's going. You can be proud of things. But then there is the hurdle of pride. There is having so much pride that you can't admit you're wrong. There's having so much pride that you can't admit that you can't afford something. There's so much pride that you want to keep up with people so bad that you'll hurt other people around you to keep up with your pride. And so you have to find this like interesting little space between being proud and having too much pride. And we talked earlier about, being able to go, man, I made a mistake yesterday, or I said something that I shouldn't have said, or I did something that I shouldn't have done. And being proud of yourself for overcoming those things and admitting and talking about those things. But then there's also the slippery slope of having too much pride to admit that you did something wrong. And pride can get in the way of your success. You can have so much pride that you'll never admit to your spouse that you made a mistake. And you'll just continue digging that hole, I promise. So where pride can be something that you look at and you go, God, man, I'm really proud of my kids. I'm really proud of, how I am growing, or how my spouse is growing, or how my marriage is, or I'm proud of how hard I work and the things that I've earned doing the job that I've done. There's that, and then there's pride. And again, I'm not looking at any notes. I didn't do any research. I'm sure somewhere there's a wonderful article that goes, oh yeah, here's the big difference in between being proud and having too much pride. So go read that. I'm sure it's out there. Go read it. Maybe I should have before I started this episode, but I didn't want to. I very intentionally just wanted to talk from the hip, from the heart, about being proud of yourself and me being proud of you, and what it meant for me growing up when my dad told me he was proud of me, and what I think I know it means to my kids when they work hard and they may not get the best grades in the world, but I know they worked hard. And so to go in and say, hey, I'm still proud of you. Maybe you're capable of better, but I'm so proud of you. It is an immensely powerful thing to say to somebody. Immensely powerful. And I hope that hearing it from me, though I know it doesn't necessarily, maybe it doesn't mean anything. Maybe you're like, I don't know this guy and I don't care if he's proud of me or not. I really hope at least this topic makes you go, maybe I should be a little more proud of myself. maybe I should be a little more proud of my kids. Maybe I should be a little more proud of my situation. Maybe I should put my chin up just a little bit, roll my shoulders back a little bit, and exude some pride. When somebody sees me, I don't want them to think that they're looking at some sulking person who all they do is focus on the things that are going wrong in their lives, or, oh, woe is me. And you can take that and turn it into focusing on the things that you should be proud of yourself for, proud of other people for. And again, put your chest out a little bit. Be proud of who you are and where you've come from. There's a lot of us out there, me included, who didn't come from a ton. I don't know how long this episode has been. Okay, we got time. I'll give you a very, very short story. My dad, who we talked about earlier, who made sure to tell me he was proud of me all the time, suffered from heart disease all of my life. Every day that I knew him, he suffered from heart disease. It wasn't uncommon for us to wake up and find him had gone to the hospital overnight. And, my mom was working and trying to work, but there were 4 kids and a husband who wasn't well. He couldn't work. He was, in and out of the hospital. He was on medication that was preventing him from doing certain jobs, and he just couldn't do it. And so my mom had to work and put us all like food on the table and do what they had to do. And, we got help from a lot of people. We didn't have a lot of things. I vividly remember the church providing us Christmas one year, probably more years than that. I mean, my mom did such a wonderful job, and still today doesn't tell us all of the things that she had to do and sacrifice to just provide for us. Every once in a while, she'll let something slip, where she talks about, how we had to go about getting our food, and just summers where we couldn't afford to have the AC, and just things like this, right? And so that was, I look at that, and though my dad told me he was proud of me, I can look at that now as an adult and say, man, I'm really proud of my mom and at what she had to do to take care of her family. I mean, to literally drop everything and work 3 jobs to take care of a disabled husband and 4 kids. And me and my brothers and sisters were all 2 years apart, so 4 like little kids. And that wasn't easy. And so, again, I am proud of the work that my mom did and that my family did growing up that gave me the opportunity to be where I am today. Again, I'm sitting in my closet. I have a closet big enough that I can sit in with a camera on my new iPhone, right? Things that my mom never had when she was growing up, never had when she was an adult. And honestly, I mean, every hour of her waking day was put towards trying to provide for our family. And I am proud of her for that. And I'm proud of where we are today from that. And I can look back, and I hope you are looking back and going, yeah, I didn't come from much either, Mike. But I put myself through school. I'm paying my debts. I've got a family now. We've got our own home. But we're in a situation now that is better than my family was when I was a kid. And again, I hope you look at that and you go, I'm proud of myself for how hard I've worked to get where I am. And I think there's probably a lot of people listening that can do that. I meet a lot of people just through normal interactions, and we're starting to get to know each other a little bit. And we talk about our childhood and our upbringing. And there's a lot of people out there that came from not much. And those people today, I think their parents gave them opportunities, whether it was through like their support, their love, their encouragement, or whatever it was, for you to go be a better person than the scenario that you were in as a child. And so you are where you are today because of that. And I'm not ignorant to that, right? So I want my children to grow up knowing that they're loved and that I'm proud of them, and that whether they fail or they succeed or whatever, I'm proud of them. They should never quit. They should never give up. They should be proud of themselves and all of the things they've accomplished. It's going to sound silly, but my son loves playing Fortnite. And if he doesn't get the first place battle royale crown or whatever it is, he's very frustrated with himself. Very frustrated with himself. He's like, the stupidest game. I'm so terrible at this game. And he gets like second or third place, right? It's like down to him and one other dude out of like 50 people playing this game. And whatever, I play sometimes, and I never get like better than 30th. But to be able to take that and go, dude, you should be proud. I mean, I know it's just a video game, but you should be proud. Like, you came in at a higher place than like 48 other people that are playing this game. Why are you so down on yourself right now over the fact that you weren't first place? Like, still be proud of the work you put in and how you did. And I know we're talking about a video game, but that could be anything in your life. That could be anything in your life. Maybe you applied for a promotion at your job and somebody beat you out of that promotion, right? You and one other person were down for it, and that other person got the promotion. And I'm sure you could look at yourself and be like, oh, you're such a failure. Oh, yeah, okay. So your company was looking at you as one of the people for the promotion. You got down to the last two people. You were in the running. You were seriously considered to lead your company at a higher position. Maybe not today. You didn't get your opportunity today, but you will tomorrow. And you should be proud of how you worked, and you should be proud of what you've accomplished, instead of, like we talked about earlier, having your shoulders down, your chin down, and kind of being bummed out about yourself because something went wrong. Be proud. Find those things in your life that you should be proud of. Find the things in your spouse's life that they should be proud of. And find the things in your kids' lives that they should be proud of, and your partners, your friends, whoever. I don't care. We need to get into a position, especially as men, because I've talked a lot about, us developing this culture of dads, this dad decision thing that we're building here. And again, as silly as it sounds, I am proud of you. I probably don't even know you, but I can make some fair assumptions that you deserve to be told that someone is proud of you and that you should be proud of yourself. That's my message for today. That's my message for today. How'd I do? It's going to be a short episode. We'll see. It's going to be a short episode, and that's okay. I got to take some chunks of this, I think. So as soon as I'm done recording here, I'm going to try to cut it up and put a background on it and do whatever, and maybe I'll put it out on YouTube. I think I'm going to continue to do like interviews of when I have guests and put those behind the Patreon wall. But then I'll make like these that I'm doing in my closet from my cell phone. I'll make them public on YouTube and cut them up and put them on Instagram and just try to continue providing what I hope is an experience that people want. That, the podcast sounds good, it looks good, it's topics you want to hear about, and you feel fulfilled. And maybe you learn something, or maybe it kind of gets your thoughts kind of turning a little bit by listening to the podcast. I'm sure I'm going to get feedback that was like, dude, you didn't look in the camera hardly at all. So I don't know. I'm not like a professional at this. Obviously, I'm a dad with a mustache and a t-shirt sitting in a closet with a kid's blanket behind me and an iPhone in front of me. So on an ironing board, nonetheless. So dads, I'm going to wrap this episode up. I'm going to wrap it up. I did this without notes. I did this from my pocket, from my heart. I'm proud of you. Whoever's listening to this podcast episode, I'm proud of you. And I hope you're proud of yourself. And I hope you're able to look at the people around you and find reasons to be proud of them. And I hope you tell them that you're proud of them. There's a lot of people out there that are working real hard to get where they are today. And maybe they don't have the things you do. Maybe you don't have the things your neighbor does. But we all need to be proud of each other for where we are today. So with that, dads, have a great week. Thanks for getting through this episode. Don't know if it hit home, but I really hope it did. I'll have another one out soon. We'll see how this whole audio video thing works out. Maybe I'll be able to put this up and we'll keep doing this and it'll be kind of fun. But have a great week. I hope you had a great weekend. I'm proud of you. Be proud of yourself, and talk again soon.